What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Fielding Shredder, and it is a really hot day here in Texas, and it's even hotter when you get inside a race car. So this video is going to be all about how to build your own Coolshirt system. Now, what is a Coolshirt system and why do you want one? Well, you know, who doesn't want to be cooled off, especially in a hot race car? This t-shirt here has tubing that's sewn onto it that is going to transfer cold water in and out, and that helps remove heat from your body. There are a couple other pieces of the puzzle here. We've got a cooler that we have to mount inside the vehicle, and we've got a water pump, we've got some wiring and some lines. So this is gonna be all about exactly how to build your own do-it-yourself system, you know, and save a little bit of money while still having a really professional, reliable Coolshirt setup. Now, a Coolshirt system, if you were to just buy one retail, is well over $1,000, plus you gotta install it. And this is gonna be the easiest way to get to that point without having to spend quite so much money. So the Coolshirt consists of just a couple different parts. One is the shirt, we kind of chat about that. This I don't recommend you do it yourself. I recommend you buy one. Just buy one from whatever brand you want, from wherever you want. I got mine on Amazon. It was about $130. Totally worth it. It comes with the quick release ends. It's nice and professional. You can get whatever color you want, different sizes, different materials, different shapes, and so forth. So you use your best judgment on that, on which one you'd like. The other parts of the puzzle here are the cooler. So let me show you that. So the cooler I've got mounted in here, or behind the passenger seat. And you can see right here, it is a standard cooler. You would want one that will latch nicely. So this one does have latches built in. And then inside you can see we've got some more bits here. So the cooler itself, I'll link into the description exactly which one I got. This is the exact one that Coolshirt themselves would sell you. And that's nice because you can use the Coolshirt bracket. So again, you can build your own one of these, but it's so simple, and it comes with these Velcro straps that help hold your cooler down. So I just bought it. It was simple, it was easy, and it looks really nice and professional, and I know it's gonna be secure in the car. Inside here you can see we've got a couple other parts. It's a little bit murky. I actually just came back from an event and I used it and it worked fantastic. But I put a ice pack in here. You can use one of these if you'd like. It's up to you and your discretion what you'd like to do. But basically you're gonna fill this with ice water, and that's gonna, you know, be what cools you off. You have an in and an out. So this is the return line, this is the feed line, and then you have a pump that you have mounted in here. And it's up to you to decide how to mount that, and I'll show you how I did it. And then a couple of lines coming out here. These are insulated lines. You don't have to have insulated lines, but it does help the ice last longer. I got a little trick and mounted it through the center console here, and then you've got your outputs here. So these are actually split. I put a Y on here so that I could give my passenger or my girlfriend a Coolshirt herself, so we can share it. But these are what they call a dry brake fitting. And a dry brake means whenever it's released, no fluid or anything comes out of here. So once you close it, then it's just completely sealed. And when you connect your shirt to it, then it's gonna work just fine. And as far as wiring goes, you really just have a positive and negative for the pump. You can choose however to add this to a switch that you'd like. You're gonna need to ground the pump and then, you know, add power on a switch leg somehow. Up to you how to do that. I'm not a wiring specialist. I just put it on a really simple circuit with a single switch that turns it on and off. You can get real fancy and get a controller that will cycle the pump at different rates and so forth if you want to add a little bit of expense to the project. But for me, it was just easy enough to keep it simple and just keep it on a single switch. So I've got a hole that I just drilled in here. And what I've decided is I'm not going to just trust glue to hold this. I'm going to put one little screw. So I'm gonna have to seal this screw, obviously, but what I'm doing is drill a little pilot hole. So get that lined up, double check that it's gonna clear on all sides. So I'm not going all the way through with that pilot, just wanted a little spot. And then I'm gonna put glue in there and then tighten this with that. So I'm going to tighten this screw into here first, and then I'm going to spin the whole thing in here. So I'm going to first put some glue and then tighten this bad boy. Now I'm going to go in here with the glue. Let's see. Perfect. Alright, so next I've got to decide where to put the output from the hose from the pump to come out. So the normal like name brand Coolshirt coolers that you buy will have a pair of quick disconnect fittings coming out of here. However, these things are about $12 to $15 a piece, and then the bulkhead ones, which are the ones with like a threaded part right here with a nut, are $25 each. So that would, you know, really increase the cost of this project. So I have gone with something like this, which is going to be, you know, these are $4 or whatever, not even. So these are way cheaper, I think $2, $2.50. This is simply just a step down. This is going to get me to my 1/4 inch size, which is the same as the line that's used on this. So this will go on the shirt side, and then this will just come out of the cooler, and then I'll just, if I need to disconnect these, I can just pull it off. But I'm probably not going to be disconnecting it very often, the line from the cooler, just the line from the shirt. So that's where I'll need the quick disconnect. So I plan to double duty this cooler for a helmet hose system, so like blowing cold air in my helmet. I'll do another video on that here in a little bit, but I'm going to utilize this as a box that kind of helps keep the water splash from going into that blower fan. So that's another nice thing about getting this, just the cooler from Engel or however you say that, instead of buying the Coolshirt system, because you don't get this. So when this is closed, you know, this doesn't really slide around or anything, but that means I need to keep the lines just under here. So just as simple as getting a Sharpie and tracing my line there, just like that. So now I'll know that's the lowest point of here, and then I'll want my output to be just below that. Now it won't matter if water splashes up around here, because this is going to be sealed with glue, and it doesn't matter really where these come out, because again, it just goes through the line. It's all a sealed system. So now that I've got that, I'm gonna mic this and then get a drill bit and drill through here down below here, and I'll have my 2 holes for in and out. So the return side of things is just gonna have to come in here and just return the water, no big deal. But the output side of things, you know, has to go from the pump. So I'm gonna kind of play with that and figure out the best spot to put it, and then drill the hole and go from there. Perfect. So I'm left open. I made it bigger here so that I could have the hose connected to it. Look at that. First try. I think it's going to be perfect. Boom. So this is the return. I got it shooting right at the pump. This will get glued in. So the idea here is to get the glue to adhere to every square inch of the kind of porous styrofoam in the middle here. And then you shove the fitting through. But if you were to just put glue on it, it wouldn't nearly get the seal. You got to really just make sure the glue is touching and adhering to all little bits inside here. Now I get to do the messy part of taking this tape off. Boom. Okay, it's pretty mess free. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get some glue around there, but I'm gonna let this dry before I mess with it anymore. Next, I've got to get the wiring here to go through. So you can see the way I've got it set up, it's gonna really easily be able to come out right here. So just kind of eyeball this. I'm gonna go right here at the bottom of the seam. I checked and made sure that this was slightly smaller than the diameter of the wiring. A little bit too small. Grab some pliers and pull that through. I got it with my fingers. All right, a little bit of glue right here. Good to go. I'm zip tying these together just for added security. This right here, I want to kind of help guide to point down. I'm not squeezing it super tight, but zip tie is good. Or a tie wrap, I should say. It's just a little more secure. A couple things I wanted to show everybody here. These are the dry brake fittings that you can get from McMaster-Carr, and you can see they work great. You got to make sure you get the part numbers that are compatible with each other. I'll leave the info in the description. When you eject them, they come out nice and soft. O-ring there, and yeah, they work good. Click together nice. Same size 1/4 inch line. Now these are the ones that you get from the actual Coolshirt. So you notice they're red. These are incredibly expensive. They're retail $20 something a piece, $21 each, $42 for the pair. Whether you get male or female doesn't matter. So super expensive. These work the same. You plug them in, and when you eject them, they come out like little rocket ships, which is hilarious. The difference is, in case you're wondering, my understanding is these are rated by FIA. So these are rated by the sanctioning body, the racing body that allows you to have this sort of stuff. And the reason why is because they're safety wire, or they're something about safety. So these are supposed to be fire retardant, and they're also quick release. So if you were in a wreck and you were passed out, or if you had to jump out of the car real quick, these should release just by pulling on it without having to depress the thing. I don't want to pull too hard. I don't know if it's a one-time deal, but apparently these are supposed to be rated at, for quick release. Looking at them up close, there's not a whole lot of difference. When you see in here, this has kind of a bit of a angle on it, whereas this one is square. Other than that, I can't really tell. I mean, internally they look exactly the same, basically. A little bit different material. This is kind of a harder plastic, and this is more of a softer, like a PVC. Maybe that's part of the difference. I don't know exactly, but the main thing is the cost. So if you're trying to do this on the cheap, definitely go with the McMaster-Carr ones. They function just the same, and they work great. And these are, I think, like $2.50 a piece or something like that. So significantly cheaper. These are 10 times the cost for the name brand ones. And this one right here, this actually was cut off of a Fast shirt, F-A-S-T. So I thought that these were going to work with this, but turns out, even though they have the same diameter and everything, they don't actually work. And the reason why, if you look close, there's this kind of gap right here that's larger, and you can just see everything is in a different kind of ratio. So whatever, I thought that I was going to be able to get something that works with those, but these are from a Fast shirt, so they don't work. Anyway, long story short, expensive, not expensive, functions basically the same. There you go. All right, moving on here, we can talk about the cooler. So remember, I bought this cooler separate. It is, however, the exact same cooler that the Coolshirt system comes with. Theirs is branded Coolshirt on it, and other than that, it's exactly the same. So, theirs has the bulkhead fittings and stuff. Theirs doesn't come with this tray, but overall, it's the exact same thing. This is the 13 quart system. I'm sorry, this is the 13 quart cooler. So that's one of the options they have. Also is a 19 quart, so a little larger, so for more of an endurance race style. But it's also added weight. Now, one thing I was gonna talk about is this bracket right here. So the Coolshirt cooler comes with this bracket. However, they do sell the bracket separately. And the bracket's pretty nice. It comes with these Velcro straps for the sides. And you can see these work nicely and are nice and small and compact. This is a really nicely made aluminum tray. And it's really just for mounting the cooler. It's $86 retail, and it comes with straps. So this is something where if you know, your time is worth less than money or whatever, then you could build this. However, I felt like as clean as this was done, it was nicely done. It's powder coated. It's got these straps. You can buy just the straps for about $15. But for $86, I just bought it. I mean, I'm going to save myself a ton of time, and this looks really nice, and it's powder coated, and it makes the whole system look much more professional. So I decided to not waste my time trying to build something halfway decent and just bought the damn thing. So worth the money, simplify the install. These Velcro straps are nice and clean, and they're easy to use, make it kind of a quick release. The other straps that the cooler comes with is just one long strap, more of like a shoulder strap. So I was going to try and come up with some way to like route it to where it's held in, but really then getting it out is just even more difficult. So screw that, just got the thing, and I'm not even mad about it. The final thing here that I bought, the Coolshirt brand maintenance additive. This is only 11 bucks. I got it at a local retailer, and I don't know, I mean, it says it's gonna keep, it's got fungicide in it, and it's gonna basically keep everything clean and sanitized. I think that's totally worth the money. It comes with 16, 20 ounces, whatever, and you use 2 ounces for each fill up, so this should last me an entire season, so that's totally worth it. But now the glue is dried here, these are nice and solid, so this is basically done. I'm gonna put a little glue around here just to seal it. I'm thinking I might put a little glue around this side too, just to make everything 100%. But this is basically finished, except for putting it and installing it in the car. So I got to send a 12-volt source to it and plug in my lines, and I'm done. So talk about the lines now. The lines I just bought from McMaster Car. You can see the part number there. It is a thicker walled flexible PVC tubing and 1/4 inch inside diameter, so that fits perfectly with the quick release connections. Now, something about the lines that the Coolshirt comes with is they're insulated. So my buddy Kegel actually linked me to these right here. So this is what I'm going to mess with next. This is an insulation sleeve specifically made for this. It's about 25 bucks for this, and it's pretty nice actually. It comes with these two for, you know, it's like a foam material, it's stretchy, it's kind of like scuba diving suit material, which is what it feels like. And then you have this exterior one, which is a little bit tougher. It's Velcro, it's all sewn nicely. So, and you can cut this down if it's too long or whatever. I bought just a 5-foot section, 25 or 30 bucks, including shipping. So really not bad. And it's definitely going to keep the ice and the water cooler for much longer. So that's the benefit of this. You don't have to have this, it's just an extra thing. But, you know, instead of having to mess with putting ice in there constantly and draining it out, because draining this is not the easiest, you basically have to hook up a drain to a quick disconnect on the sleeve, or you'll have to disconnect it here, plug a drain into it, and then have that go somewhere. So yeah, this is going to make things last a lot longer for sure. So basically I'm just going to feed this in here, and I don't know what the easiest way to get this done is. Oh, it's actually not too bad. So this is like made perfectly for this size line. I kind of got lucky on that. So I'm not going to make you watch me feed this through here, but you get the idea. You just feed it through, get it all the way through, and then cut your line, and there you go. Okay, so this sucks trying to get this stuff through the hydration tube cover here. So I just shoved a piece of brake line through it, hard brake line, and it fits pretty good here. I'm going to tape this, and hopefully I can just pull it through, and that will make things much better. I'm going to try and keep this as low profile as possible so it can slip through there. Almost got it. Almost. It's even harder with that tape on there because it's sticky. Okay. Or close to even. Doesn't quite matter because I'm going to be putting them, I'm going to be trimming them down whenever I get them in my car. I don't know exactly how long I need once it gets into my car. Yeah, these things are pretty nice though. I like them. I do like them. There we go. Nice. So I basically have everything finished now. I've got this ready to go. These will plug into here. This gets trimmed to length. Then I put the ends on, which is simple. And all I have left to do is mount this bracket right here and then wire it in. So this is all I can do here at the shop. Now I've got to go to my shop and sit in the heat and figure this damn thing out. All right, this cooler has got to go back here. This is the perfect spot for it. But I've got this old bracket I built for holding a nitrous bottle that I never have used ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that thing off. And then the cooler should fit here just right. Okay, it doesn't sit in here as nice as I thought with this bracket. I'll try it without the bracket. Got a couple holes drilled right here now, got my hardware. So now what I'm going to do is make sure that this thing is level, get it into position. So I'm okay with a little bit of a tilt back like that because that'll help the water get towards the pump section. Not too much of a tilt, but some tilt is okay. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is build the spacer that goes in between the body and the bracket here. So I'm going to get this bracket here in the exact position I want it, based on the level here and my marks. I wouldn't mind it to be a little bit tilted back to that corner. So it's definitely tilted back, slightly to the left. And the way I'm going to do this is I push these bolts all the way down, and then I'm going to mark them right at the bottom against the body. And that's going to tell me how long my spacer needs to be. Boom. So these bolts are definitely the right length. Spacer should be that long. This goes through the body, and then a washer and a nut on the back side, and good to go. So this is the spacer I'm going to use, just a piece of tubing that this can easily slide in. And I'm just going to mark it. Okay, now I just need to cut them. Perfect. I'm gonna spray paint these black real quick. Next step, you get your buddy to hold the wrench on the top. Then you go down below. Your big washer. right, go to the other one. Okay, go back to the other one. All right, we're done. New, yeah, that's super solid. Okay, slightly tilted back. Looks good. You want to hand me the cooler?
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at that. All right, sweet. That's gonna work. The bracket's not moving, so. I guess that's how they fit. All right. Now to wire it. All right, so this thing is a little too loose for my taste. I'm afraid that when the ice water's in here and the car's drifting around, this eventually might fatigue and rip out, and then I'll have a leak and bad things will happen. So I'd like to brace that. So the solution I came up with is I've got this cap for a battery, and I drilled a little hole in it. Now it's got this loose piece right here. So I'm going to put some tape on it to make it a nice round, a little more solid piece. Okay. And then I've got a rivet, and I've got a piece of a wire stay. So normally you would rivet this onto a body, run a zip tie through here, and do that. Now this should be, actually I guess I don't even need that wire stay. So what I'm going to do instead is fill this up with glue it onto the side wall, and then I want to have a hole through it this way that will allow me to pass a zip tie through it. It's kind of ghetto, kind of hood rat, but it's also definitely going to work, and it's not going to cost me a whole lot. And by that I mean nothing. I drill through it here. That's all it needs, really. Okay, so I got my cap here. Gonna fill it with glue. Okay. So now all I gotta do is shove something in here. There we go. And just let that sit overnight. So that glue will dry, all that will be held in, and it'll be hopefully much more secure. Okay. Probably not a bad idea to put a little glue around that. All right, here we are back the next day. This is all dried. It worked absolutely perfectly. You can see it's much more stable now. So now I'm not so worried about this getting beat up and tossed around in here with all the ice water. So just kind of rinse this out and clean it real good so there's no junk that gets sucked up in the pump. And then I'm gonna put it in and then wire it up. That's really the last step. I'm gonna give this a test. Got a battery here. I'm just curious if it's gonna work. All right. Look at that. That works pretty good. I'll have to try and remember to use filtered water of some sort. Pretty serious stream though. Center console out, and I really want to try and keep the Coolshirt lines separate from the oil cooler or the AccuSump lines, so because they get hot. So I'm gonna create another little channel right here that's gonna be very similar to this one, and just allow those lines to pass in here, and then they're gonna come out this part right here where I can plug them into my shirt. Hello.
Hi.
Normally I'd take more time on this, but I'm in a rush and we are trying to get to an event.
Sorry.
So I'm hauling butt just to get it done. Look at that. Now this is gonna split. All right. Wow. I have to say, this Coolshirt is a lifesaver, especially today. It is so bloody hot that I've just been miserable. So the fact that I finally got this working, oh, it's amazing. So I highly recommend it. All right, so that's it for this video. You can see I'm sweating profusely. It's so hot. I wish I was wearing that Coolshirt now, but when I'm in the car with the functioning shirt and everything's running, it is fantastic. So I highly recommend it if it's something that you want to do in your car. Take this guide and, run with it. So also, of course, if there's anything that you'd like to add to this that we can all learn from, any maybe different methods you used or different products you bought, please leave a comment down below and let us know so we can all read through there and educate ourselves properly. I definitely encourage you getting one of these in your car if it's, a car that you're trying to compete in or that you're going to be doing any kind of long driving in, as it gets extremely hot inside the car. And once you wear it once, you're like, oh, I get it. Now I definitely want one. So thanks you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you learned something, make sure you hit that subscribe, and I'll keep pushing out these do-it-yourself videos as best I can. And I'll see you on the next one.